What's up, guys? Welcome back to another mock draft, our third mock draft heading into the 2018 NFL Draft.
Damn right, man. So let's just get right into it with the 28th pick in the first round. The Pittsburgh Steelers select Justin Reed, safety out of Stanford. This guy, he's that tall, fast, tackling, ball-hawking, aggressive, athletic safety that we really need. He's got really everything we need at the safety position.
And the big upside that he has, he's very versatile.
Exactly.
He's got a whole lot of potential to be a next Pro Bowl safety.
Exactly. He can play safety, he can play linebacker, he can play corner, he can play all over the field, which is what I really love about him.
Exactly.
Like I said, he's that tall, fast, physical, ball-hawking, aggressive, athletic safety that we need,
and that we have not had in a while since Troy Polamalu.
Right, and we're not saying that he's going to be like Polamalu, because we all know there will never, ever be another Polamalu.
But what we are saying is that he could be the next great big Steelers secondary player that
we've been looking for.
Exactly.
So, but I like Justin Reed. I'm really high on him. I really love us to draft him. Many people say that he's not really a first rounder, which you could argue, but I think he has the talent to be a first rounder. I mean, that's just me. I don't know about you guys. But there is one issue about us possibly getting Justin Reed in the first round, and I'm not sure if you guys heard, but the Steelers are expected to sign Morgan Burnett, former safety from the Green Bay Packers. They're expected to sign Morgan Burnett. So.
And to be honest, I love this sign. I really do.
So do I.
It adds not only does it add depth to the safety position, but it adds more experience, way more better than Mike Mitchell. He's definitely better than Mike Mitchell.
Of course, I think he's a very underrated safety. He can tackle, he can hit. He's very versatile, like Justin Reed.
He's pretty fast. He can cover those tight ends, which
exactly.
we've always had a problem.
And that's one thing I like, man. He brings experience to the safety position. He's an immediate upgrade to Mitchell. He can cover. He's fast. He's physical. He's got good height. He can tackle. This guy is a much needed and an immediate upgrade from Mike Mitchell. So I really like the signing, and I think it could very well help this secondary.
Absolutely.
So
if you really look at our secondary on paper, of not only Morgan Burnett, but look at Sean Davis, because I did hear when we sign him that we're switching Sean Davis to free safety, which I think is great because I think
that's better for him. To be
absolutely, because I think he played more of free safety at Maryland.
Yeah, I believe you are correct. Correct us if we're wrong, but I think free safety for Sean Davis is better for him. I think it's more comfortable for him. I'm just throwing it out there. But look at our secondary: Morgan Burnett, if we do indeed sign him; Sean Davis, Jordan Dangerfield is a good backup, and I'm pretty sure that we will eventually. Or we will draft a safety in the early rounds, whether that be first, second, or third. I'm sure we'll draft a safety in the early rounds. So add that draft pick plus our corners in Joe Hayden, Artie Burns, Mike Hilton, Cameron Sutton, Brian Allen, and possibly a corner that we might draft in the draft as well. So
if you look at our secondary, that's pretty damn good right there.
This secondary is really starting to come along.
It really is.
And, the one thing I like about it is that we have really everything that you need in the secondary. We have the youth, we have the speed, we have the physicality, we have the experience, we have the depth, we have everything in this, that you need in the secondary.
Absolutely.
So that's what, this secondary is really starting to come along.
Yep.
So, and plus Morgan Burnett under better coaching. So, I really like the signing, man. I really like how this secondary is starting to come along.
Absolutely.
And I'm really excited. Really am.
Mm-hmm.
But Justin Reed, like I said, with the signing of Morgan Burnett, you gotta pose the question: will we draft a safety in the first round now, or will we hold out until the second or third round if we do indeed draft one?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the thing you got to bring in. That will come into effect. I'm not sure. But Justin Reed, I would love us to draft him. If we don't draft him in the first round, I could definitely see us drafting him in the second if he lasts. But I don't know, man. This year is extremely unpredictable for the Steelers.
Absolutely,
it is one of the most unpredictable off seasons ever in Steelers history, really, as of late. So, but yeah, man, Justin Reed, I think could fit very well with our defense. Would fit well with our youth and physicality, and with the veteranship in Hayden and Burnett, could very well develop to a nice safety in this league.
Yep.
So I don't know, man, but we'll see what happens.
Now in the second round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Mark Andrews, tight end out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, really, this is Mark Andrews. I do think he is very underrated. I do think he is overshadowed a lot by a lot of tight ends like Hayden Hurst, Dallas Goedert, and Mike Gesicki, which really could come into effect in the second round because all those guys are projected to go before him, and that could lead Mark Andrews to
drop right into our draft pick.
Right, drop right into our laps in the second round. And he could fight with Vance McDonald for that #1 spot.
Yep.
So, Plus, we need a tight end as well. You know, Ben likes those big, tall, healthy, fast tight ends, which is what we get out of Mark Andrews.
Yep.
Plus, he's good in the run block as well. So this guy could be a nice, good fit in our offense if you think about it. So, and in the third round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jerome Baker, inside linebacker out of the Ohio State.
You had to say the.
Yes. Why not? I mean, that's how it goes, right?
Right.
But yeah, Jerome Baker out of the Ohio State. He's a fast, physical linebacker who can stop the run. You know, he has that sideline speed that we need at the inside linebacker position. You know, one thing I will say is that maybe he sits a few weeks under newly signed John Bostic, because we did sign John Bostic to a 2-year deal. A very cheap deal, by the way, which I think was a very good sign. I think he is a underrated inside linebacker. I think he has talent that he hasn't really been able to showcase because of, 1, injuries, and 2, the schemes he's been in.
Right, exactly. And plus, he's obviously a bigger upgrade than Sean Spence.
Of course. Really, anyone is, technically.
Right.
I don't even think Tyler Matakavich is. But, you know, John Bostic, sure, you know, he has injuries, and he hasn't been able to showcase. But like I said, you know, it's just he hasn't been in the right scheme. I think we have the good scheme for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he can showcase his covering abilities. He's a great run stuffer, great run stopper, good tackler, good speed, good strength. He can hit. So I really like the John Bostic signing. Plus, it adds youth and experience and good depth, and he'll be a nice rotational guy eventually for this defense for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Maybe Jerome Baker sits under John Bostic for a few weeks, and maybe he starts opposite of Vince Williams. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm just throwing it out there. And plus, you know the Steelers love that Ohio State connection, because I mean, look at some of the Ohio State players that we drafted. Santonio Holmes worked out very well. Of course, before we traded him. Cam Hayward has worked out very well. Ryan Shazier has worked out very well. So
this guy could very well work out for us, especially since we do need inside linebacker because of Shazier's absence.
Of course, and I can really see us drafting inside linebacker still in this draft. Maybe not in the first round, but maybe in the early rounds, you know, just for depth. And really, I think he'd be a nice substitute. Whoever we draft at inside linebacker will be a nice substitute or possible replacement. But I'm not going to say replacement yet, because I do think Shazier can return to football, which I hope he does, but at the same time,
especially if you've seen how he's been working out.
Of course.
You know, he's thriving to get back on the field.
Right.
And that's what I love about that.
Right.
I want him to return, but the most important thing I want from him is to be able to at least walk.
Of course. And he's showing a lot of progress, so that's good. But I'm not going to use the word, or I'm not going to use the term replacement yet, but I will say substitute. I think they could very well substitute well for Shazier.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jerome Baker, possible guy we could look at. So, you know, just throwing it out there.
Right. In the 5th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Devontae Lampkin, defensive tackle out of Oklahoma State.
Yeah, man. This is a big guy, man. He can fill the gap. He can stop the run. He's got good strength, good size, good balance. He's very physical. And one thing I really like about him is that, you know, he's just big and physical, man. So, you know, him with this defense could fit very well. And really, you know, he can rotate with Hargrave at the defensive tackle position.
Especially like we said last week, you know, Hargrave can't always do it all.
Of course.
He's going to get exhausted. He's going to get tired. So we need someone to jump right in there and fill in for him.
Especially with Daniel McCullers leaving as well.
Exactly.
So more likely will be leaving. So we're going to need a backup at the defensive tackle position. And this guy could very well fit well. And he can rotate with Hargrave. And I think this guy could be a potential steal in the 5th round. I really do. So this guy, Devontae Lampkin, you know, just a guy to look at. I really like this guy, high on this guy. I think he's very underrated. I think he could be a steal for any team, really.
Right.
So, and then the 5th round, the second 5th round pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Darius Williams, cornerback out of UAB. This is nothing but depth. It's really nothing but depth. But at the same time, he could battle with Brian Allen for the 5th cornerback spot, possibly. But at the same time, he could be depth as well. He could be the 6th cornerback.
Right.
So, like I said, you know, like we said earlier in this video, you know, we could have the depth in the secondary, and this guy could very well fit as well.
Uh-huh.
So this is really nothing but depth, but very well could showcase himself in preseason if he gets a chance, of course.
Right, of course. And the 7th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Martez Carter, running back / special teams returner out of Grambling State.
And I know that last week we said that we draft him in the 3rd round, but there's a few things that comes into effect. One, I don't see us drafting running back in the 3rd round at all. I mean, I could, but at the same time I don't, because I think we have bigger needs.
Right.
And 2, if we were to draft running back this year, in this upcoming draft, I think it would be in the mid to late rounds. And Martez Carter, you know, he's being overshadowed a lot. He's an extremely underrated player, and like you stated before we started this video, he's coming from a small school.
Exactly, he's coming from a small school, so that could drop his draft stock right into our laps in the late rounds.
Exactly, which I could see happening. So, this guy is very underrated. He's being overshadowed a lot. I could see us grabbing him in the 7th round. He'd be a great 7th round steal, and he could battle with Fitzgerald Toussaint for the number 3 position.
And again, he's a return specialist, which we desperately need. We need a damn good return specialist, and this guy could very well be it.
Of course, he'd be a great third string running back, but he'd be a fantastic return specialist, punt and kick return.
Absolutely.
He can take over dudes of Antonio Brown. They can take Martavis Bryant and Juju out of the kick return, and bam.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that leads to our last 7th round pick, last pick of the mock draft, is Quadre Henderson, wide receiver / return specialist out of Pittsburgh. He can very well basically back up and work with Martez Carter and return specialist as well, plus he'd be a wide receiver depth.
Right, of course.
That's really all it is. And I like Quadre Henderson. I think he'd be a very good return specialist in this league. Maybe like another Devin Hester, but of course not as good, not as fast. But,
right, of course.
But you get what I mean.
Well, we could use Martez Carter as the kickoff return specialist, and we could have Henderson as the punt returner.
There you go. We could, and maybe
that way we can utilize both players.
Of course, and that's something I really like us to do.
Right.
But anyway, guys, that's our third mock draft of the 2018 NFL offseason. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. We're just gonna do a quick run through. In the first round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Justin Reed. In the second round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Mark Andrews. In the third round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Jerome Baker. In the 5th round, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Devonta Lampkin. In the second 5th round pick, the Steelers select Darius Williams. In the 7th round, Pittsburgh Steelers select Martez Carter. And in the second 7th round pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Quadre Henderson. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below. And we might, this can't be, this isn't confirmed yet, but we might come out with a second mock draft later this week, possibly tomorrow, possibly Friday, but look out for that.
Basically a mock draft extra. Basically.
Right, yeah, so look out for that, but let us know what you guys think in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next mock draft. So.
Like, comment, subscribe, we'll see you later. Peace!